Hi, I wanted to take a minute and encourage some of the people that are suffering right now. I've been really busy in our ministry, David and Goliath Ministries, working with people taking on their giants. And I keep seeing this trend, like consistently. And the people that end up coming to me are people who have been so discouraged because they haven't gotten healing, and though they're seeking it, it's just eluded them. They've gone to doctors, they've gone to religious leaders, they've gone to counselors, they've gone to all these people, and no one can seem to help them, and so they end up being blamed for their own illness. And it just reminds me so much of Job and his trials, his trial of suffering, and people they judged him wrongly, right? He was suffering, yes, but they didn't judge him fairly. So I was thinking about this and just thinking about how many times I've heard as of late someone tell me that they were gaslit by their partner or by their physician or by so-called Christians that are telling them that it's their fault they're sick or their fault that they haven't healed. And sometimes that's the case, okay? I'm not gonna say that's not always the case, that it's not their fault, because sometimes it is. We don't want to let go, we don't want to give it to the Lord. But what I have seen is that in these stubborn cases where someone truly wants healing, it's that they are just missing a part of the equation. And it wouldn't matter whether or not they were praying, giving it to the Lord. It was just something that they weren't seeing. And so what I am consistently seeing is that the people in their life that are claiming to want to help them, whether they are doctors or family members, whatever it is, when they can't figure out the problem, then it's their fault. It must be their fault, or they must be lying, or it's all in their head, or whatever it is, that they just won't own the fact that they don't know why they're not getting better. They've decided that it's their fault, and that's a judgment that is often catastrophic in the healing process. And I know for me, I suffered for 20 years, and I did everything I could. I gave it to the Lord. I just wasn't asking the right question. And once I did, I had miraculous healing. Miraculous. And those that know me well know how sick I was. I was under 100 pounds. I couldn't eat. I was just going to die. And I asked the right question. And sometimes we are just missing part of that. And as Christians, being heartless and sorry comforters to people who are suffering and blaming them is not going to help them at all. You should have discernment, but if you don't have discernment, you really should not get involved, in my opinion, because you're going to make it worse. If you're going to be like Job's friends and not help and judge and try to convince him he's doing something wrong when he's not, what do you think would have happened to Job if he had said, "Oh, I must be doing something wrong"? Well, he would have believed a lie. What do you think would have happened then? Come on, guys. Just because you don't know what's wrong with someone doesn't mean they haven't tried to forgive. Doesn't mean that they haven't given it to the Lord. Doesn't mean that there isn't something else holding them there. And if you really want to help people, stop having a hard heart and love them. Because if you truly love them the way God loves them, you probably wouldn't be saying the things you say.